This video did not exist in your physical reality until the exact moment you directed your conscious attention toward it. Before you clicked, it was nothing more than a wave of infinite probability floating in the digital ether, but you observed it, and so it materialized. Welcome to the Great Awakening. Today, we are going to dismantle the greatest lie the self-improvement world has ever sold you. We are going to talk about the quantum field, the observer effect, and why you must immediately stop blaming your so-called limiting beliefs for the things you do not have. By the time this transmission ends, you will fully understand your true, terrifyingly beautiful power as the absolute creator of your reality. Tell me, have you ever felt like no matter how much you heal, meditate, or work on yourself, you keep hitting the exact same invisible wall? To understand what is truly happening to you, we must step outside of standard psychology and enter the mystical mechanics of the quantum field. The quantum field is an invisible web of energy that contains all possible realities, all possible outcomes, and all possible versions of you existing simultaneously in the eternal present. In this realm, reality is not a solid, fixed structure. It is a fluid wave of potential, but here is the cosmic secret. This wave requires a director. It requires an observer to tell it how to freeze into physical form. Observation is not a passive act of just looking at things. Observation is the incredibly active magnetic process of commanding the universe to render an experience into existence. Your attention is the architect. What you choose to observe is exactly what the quantum field must build. Have you ever noticed how the more you try to fix yourself, the more broken you seem to feel? The modern self-improvement industry has convinced you that you are full of flaws. They call them limiting beliefs. They tell you that you must dig up every painful memory, analyze every childhood wound, and battle your own subconscious mind before you are worthy of the reality you desire. But what if I told you that this entire paradigm is a trap? By constantly searching for what is wrong with you, you are commanding the quantum field to endlessly supply you with more evidence of your brokenness. You are trapped in an infinite loop of healing, never realizing that the healing journey itself has become your prison. Your consciousness is a powerful projector. When you focus on a limiting belief, you are not dissolving it. You are illuminating it. You are giving it the very life force it needs to survive. You do not need to spend the next 10 years untangling your psychological knots. You do not need to fix the old character. You simply need to understand the mechanics of the game you are currently playing, and more importantly, how to effortlessly switch the cartridge. Think of your life experience exactly like a highly advanced, immersive virtual reality game. When you play a video game, you reach certain levels where the system creates a save point. If your character gets defeated, you do not start from the very beginning of the entire game. You simply respawn at the last save point. In the metaphysical sense, what you call a limiting belief is nothing more than a quantum save point. It is a set of coordinates in the field of infinite possibilities. At some point in your past, you experienced a trauma, a failure, or a deep disappointment. Your consciousness, trying to protect you, took a snapshot of that energetic state and saved the file. It recorded the frequency of lack, the vibration of fear, or the feeling of rejection. Now, whenever you try to level up in your life, whenever you try to manifest a new reality, you encounter resistance. When things get unfamiliar, your ego panics and hits the reset button. You suddenly find yourself back in the exact same emotional state, facing the exact same problems. You think you are cursed, you think you are self-sabotaging, but you are just reloading an old save file from a game you are no longer playing. This is where the observer effect from quantum physics becomes your ultimate tool for liberation. In the quantum realm, a particle exists only as a wave of pure probability until it is observed. The moment a conscious observer places their attention on that wave, it collapses into a fixed, physical reality. Your limiting beliefs operate on the exact same principle. They are not solid, unchangeable facts about who you are. They are simply waves of historical probability hovering in your energy field. They have no power, no mass, and no physical substance until you look at them. Every time you complain about your bad luck, every time you talk about your deep-seated fears, every time you analyze why you are not good enough, you are the observer collapsing the wave. You are taking a ghost from the past and forcing it to materialize in your present. The belief only feels real because your continuous, habitual observation keeps locking it into a physical state. If you want to change the reality you are experiencing, you must fundamentally change where you are looking. You must withdraw your conscious observation from the things you no longer wish to experience. It is absolutely crucial to understand that fighting a limiting belief is just another form of observation. Let me say that again. Fighting your old reality is the exact mechanism that keeps it alive. When you declare war on your anxiety, your poverty, or your loneliness, you are pouring massive amounts of emotional energy into those very concepts. The quantum field does not understand the difference between a positive observation and a negative observation. It only understands focus. It only registers the energetic weight of your attention. If you push against a wall, the wall pushes back with equal force. This is a fundamental law of physics. When you aggressively try to destroy a limiting belief, you are secretly affirming that the belief is real, that it is powerful, and that it is an enemy worthy of your attention. This creates a massive energetic resistance. The secret to quantum shifting is not resistance, but pure, absolute indifference. You do not fight the old save point. You simply recognize it for what it is, a string of outdated code, and you gracefully remove your attention from it. Neutrality dissolves the wave faster than any battle ever could. To truly master your reality, you must embrace the concept of infinite parallel timelines. Right now, in this exact moment, there is a version of you who is wildly successful, deeply loved, and entirely free from the mental loops that currently haunt you. That timeline is not a fantasy. It is a mathematical probability existing in the quantum field right now. You are not separated from that version of yourself by time, or by hard work, or by years of therapy. You are only separated by frequency. Shifting to that timeline does not require you to fix the broken version of yourself on this current timeline. That is the greatest illusion of all. You do not repair the old character. You transfer your consciousness into the new one. Think of a television set. When you want to watch a different channel, you do not take the television apart and rewire the internal electronics of the current station. You simply change the frequency of the receiver. Your consciousness is the receiver. When you stop tuning into the frequency of the old save point, the old reality simply stops broadcasting in your life. You instantly align with the timeline where your desired reality is already playing. So what happens when you decide to change the channel, but sudden fear and anxiety wash over you? Most people interpret this fear as a warning sign. They think their intuition is telling them to stop, to turn back, or that they are making a terrible mistake. But this is not intuition. This is the biological and energetic echo of the old software trying to reboot. Your body has become addicted to the chemical cocktail of your familiar suffering. It knows how to process stress, rejection, and struggle. When you suddenly shift your focus to a reality of joy, abundance, and peace, your body goes into withdrawal. It panics because the environment has changed. It desperately sends signals of fear to your brain, begging you to reload the old save point where things were predictable, even if they were painful. You must learn to witness this fear without adopting it as your identity. It is just the old avatar throwing a tantrum as it runs out of battery. Do not buy into the illusion. Smile at the panic. Acknowledge it as the final gasp of a dying reality. This is exactly what it feels like to break the addiction to your former self. Your brain is not a record of the past. It is a manifestation engine constantly rendering your environment in real time. In video games, the console only renders the part of the world that the player is currently looking at. the rest of the digital universe remains unrendered code to save processing power. Your reality works in a shockingly similar way. The universe is a fluid, dynamic field of energy that responds to your expectations. Your beliefs act as the rendering engine. If your internal save point is programmed for betrayal, your brain will literally scan the infinite data of the world and render only the specific scenarios, people, and conversations that confirm you will be betrayed. You will walk right past an opportunity for a miracle because your brain did not load the graphics for it. It was outside your frequency bandwidth. To change what renders in front of you, you must change the internal algorithm. You must dare to assume that the world is entirely rigged in your favor. When you hold the persistent assumption of a magical, supportive universe, the field has no choice but to rearrange the atoms of your life to reflect that exact picture. You might have noticed a bizarre phenomenon that occurs right when you are on the edge of a massive breakthrough. Right when you feel you have mastered your vibration, everything suddenly seems to go wrong. The car breaks down, an unexpected bill arrives, or an old toxic relationship suddenly tries to re-enter your life. In psychology, this is known as an extinction burst. In quantum terms, it is the law of resonance testing your new frequency. The old reality is collapsing, but before it completely dissolves, it flares up one last time, projecting its loudest illusions to see if you will take the bait. The universe is asking you a direct question. Are you going to react the way you always did? Are you going to observe this problem and collapse the wave back into your old save point? This is the ultimate test of your mastery. If you react with the same old anger, the same old victimhood, you hit the save button and the cycle repeats. But if you can stand in the middle of the chaos, take a deep breath and hold the frequency of your new reality, you break the matrix. You prove to the field that you are no longer a match for that level of the game. The process of withdrawing your attention from the old game is a supreme art form. It requires radical self-honesty and relentless discipline over your own mind. It means refusing to tell the same sad stories to your friends. It means refusing to endlessly scroll through negative news that lowers your vibration. It means stopping the internal dialogue that constantly justifies why you cannot have what you want. Every thought is a currency, and you must stop funding the reality you wish to escape. When an old limiting belief pops into your head, you do not argue with it. You do not analyze where it came from or which childhood event caused it. You simply look at it like a strange, passing cloud. You say to yourself, there is the code from the old game, how interesting, but I do not play that level anymore. And then you immediately pivot your focus back to the sensation of your fulfilled desire. You place your attention firmly on the reality you are building. This is how you starve the old demons. You do not kill them with weapons, you erase them with absolute, unwavering neglect. As you successfully shift your frequency, you will begin to experience very distinct physical and environmental symptoms. You are quite literally moving your consciousness across different dimensional planes, and your physical body will feel the turbulence. You may experience unexplained moments of dizziness, a sensation of floating, or sudden bursts of electricity moving up your spine. You will start having incredibly vivid cinematic dreams as your subconscious mind flushes out the old save points. The phenomenon of déjà vu will become a regular occurrence, serving as a subtle confirmation that you are aligning with a higher timeline. You might also notice that people from your past suddenly try to contact you out of nowhere. This happens because as you pull your energy out of the old holographic reality, the other players in that space subconsciously feel your absence. They reach out to see if the connection is still active. These are all signs that the quantum architecture of your life is rearranging itself. Do not be alarmed by the strangeness of it all. Celebrate it. The simulation is updating its software to match your new state of being. To navigate this transition flawlessly, you must cultivate the identity of the pure observer. Right now, you are overly identified with the character on the screen. You think you are the name on your passport, the the job title on your resume, and the collection of memories in your head. But you are none of those things. You are the infinite, formless consciousness that is holding the controller. You are the space in which the game is happening. When you detach from the character, nothing can touch you. If the character loses all their money, the observer simply watches and realizes it is just a temporary plot twist in a digital simulation. If the character gets rejected, the observer knows it is just a redirection to a better storyline. This level of detachment is not apathy, it is ultimate power. When you stop taking the three-dimensional reality so seriously, it loses its hypnotic grip on you. The less you care about the current circumstances, the faster they change. The field responds instantly to a light, playful, and detached energy. Treat your life as an epic movie that you are directing, and watch how quickly the actors and props move to satisfy your vision. One of the greatest delusions keeping you bound to your old save points is the concept of linear time. You have been conditioned to believe that your past causes your present, and your present causes your future. You believe that because you struggled for 10 years, you must undergo a long, painful process to undo that struggle. Quantum physics reveals a completely different truth. Time is not a straight line, it is a simultaneous, multidimensional field. All your pasts and all your futures exist right now, stacked on top of each other in the eternal present moment. Therefore, your past does not dictate your future. Your current point of observation dictates which past you are accessing and which future you are pulling toward you. When you shift your state of being today, you are literally changing your past. You are severing the energetic cord to the timeline of trauma and attaching yourself to a timeline where that trauma has no bearing on your success. You do not need time to heal. Healing is not a process of time. Healing is an instant collapse of a new quantum wave. You can drop the baggage of a lifetime in a single fraction of a second. While your thoughts send the electrical signal into the quantum field, it is your emotions that act as the magnetic force, drawing the experience back to you. This is the secret to manifestation that the mainstream often misses. You can recite positive affirmations all day long, but if your body is flooded with the chemical signature of desperation, the field will only bring you more reasons to feel desperate. The universe does not hear what you say, it feels what you are. To collapse the wave of your desired timeline, you must feel the emotion of the wish fulfilled before the evidence appears in your physical world. You must master the art of generating elevated emotions without needing an external reason. Can you feel the overwhelming gratitude of financial freedom while looking at an empty bank account? Can you feel the absolute bliss of unconditional love while sitting alone in your room? If you can generate the emotion ahead of the experience, you become a magnet of unimaginable power. You trick your biological body into believing the new game has already started, and when the body believes it, the external matrix has no choice but to manifest the physical equivalent. As you begin to vibrate at this new, elevated frequency, you must be prepared for the phenomenon known as the physical lag. The three-dimensional world you currently inhabit is incredibly dense. It is made of slow-moving, coagulated energy. When you change your internal frequency, the quantum field shifts instantly, but the heavy physical matter of your life takes a little bit of time to catch up. The furniture needs to be rearranged, the circumstances need to be orchestrated, people need to be moved into position. During this lag period, your physical senses will tell you that nothing has changed. You will look around and see the exact same room, the exact same problems, and the exact same bank balance. This is the precise moment where 99% of people fail. They look at the physical illusion, they get discouraged, and they drop their vibration, instantly reloading the old save point. You must be smarter than your physical senses. You must walk by faith, not by sight. You must trust the unseen mechanics of the universe and hold your new frequency with ironclad conviction until the dense, physical world finally catches up to your command. Let us examine exactly how these old save points operate in your daily life so you can neutralize them immediately. Take the concept of wealth. If your internal save point is programmed to the belief that making money requires exhausting, back-breaking struggle, the quantum field will honor that rule. You might start a brilliant new business, but suddenly you will face endless administrative nightmares, difficult clients, and unexpected costs. The game will ensure that your experience matches your programmed expectation. Or look at relationships. If your hidden save point tells you that people always leave you, you will unconsciously select partners who are emotionally unavailable, or you will create drama that forces a loving partner to walk away. You are essentially generating holograms to prove your old programming right. The moment you realize this, the spell is broken. You can stop blaming the economy and you can stop blaming your ex-partners. They were simply doing what your consciousness commanded them to do. When you rewrite the save point to decree that money flows to you effortlessly and that you are deeply cherished, the actors in your play will instantly change their script. Before the new reality fully solidifies, you will pass through a phase that mystics call the void and physicists might call the zero-point field. This is the space between realities. The old game has been deleted, but the new game has not yet fully loaded. When you are in the void, you might feel a profound sense of emptiness, a lack of motivation, or a feeling of being completely ungrounded. Things that used to excite you no longer hold any appeal, but you do not yet know what your new passions are. Friendships fall away and your social calendar suddenly becomes empty. For the ego, this empty space is terrifying. The ego wants constant stimulation and predictable patterns. But for the soul, the void is the ultimate canvas of creation. Do not rush to fill this empty space with cheap distractions or new anxieties. Sit quietly in the darkness of the zero-point field. This absolute stillness is where all creation is born. You are resting in the cosmic womb. By simply being present in the void without fear, you are gathering the immense quantum energy required to launch your new reality into existence. Embrace the emptiness, for it is the prologue to your miracle. As you step out of the void, the universe will begin to communicate with you through the language of synchronicity. Synchronicities are not random coincidences. They are the field's feedback mechanism, confirming that your new code is successfully compiling. You will start seeing repeating numbers everywhere you go. You will think of a highly specific concept and a stranger will mention it on the street 10 seconds later. You will stumble upon a book that falls off the shelf right in front of you containing the exact answer you needed. These moments are winks from the quantum matrix. They are proof that your internal frequency is now actively bending the external fabric of space and time. When you experience a synchronicity, do not just brush it off. Pause, take a deep breath, and acknowledge it. Say out loud, I see the code, I accept this confirmation. By celebrating the small manifestations, you amplify the magnetic pull of the larger ones. You train your brain to constantly look for the magic, and because the brain renders what it expects, the magic multiplies exponentially in your daily experience. There is one final critical step you must take before you can permanently anchor yourself in the new reality. You must radically and completely forgive the old versions of yourself. You cannot enter the new timeline while carrying hatred for the character you used to play. Many people feel deep shame about the times they allowed themselves to be abused, the times they lived in poverty, or the times they acted out of intense fear. They look back at their old save points with disgust, but remember, the universe does not hear the difference between self-hatred and hatred of others. Hatred is a low-frequency vibration that will keep you tethered to the very past you are trying to escape. That old version of you was doing the absolute best they could with the level of consciousness they had at the time. They survived the trauma. They navigated the darkness so that you could stand here today in the light. Wrap that past avatar in unconditional love and gratitude. Thank them for playing the hard levels of the game and then gently let them go. When you release the old self with love, you cut the final energetic string holding you back. You are finally free. Today is the day you officially overwrite the master code of your life. It is time to consciously declare your new point of observation. I want you to sit up straight, roll your shoulders back, and take a deep, slow breath into the center of your chest. Feel the powerful electromagnetic energy generating in your heart space. This is your command center. From this moment forward, you are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are the architect of probabilities. Whenever a challenge arises, you will not shrink in fear. You will smile, knowing it is just an old line of code dissolving before your eyes. You will no longer beg the universe for favors. You will command reality through the sheer authority of your focused attention. You are stepping into the elite percentage of human beings who understand the illusion of the material world. You are taking back the remote control. The game is no longer playing you. You are playing the game. Every step you take from this second onward creates a ripple across the quantum field, aligning galaxies, orchestrating events, and bending the laws of physics to serve your highest good. The shift has already happened. The wave has collapsed. Sustaining this quantum shift simply requires making this new state your default baseline of reality. It is not something you practice for 20 minutes a day on a meditation cushion, only to spend the remaining hours stressing over the illusion. It must become the way you walk, the way you breathe, and the way you look at the world. When you wake up in the morning, before you even open your eyes, remind yourself of who you are. Tell yourself, I am pure consciousness, navigating a hologram that I control. Walk through the grocery store, sit in traffic, and go to your job completely anchored in this secret knowledge. Let the people around you rush and panic over the trivial details of the matrix. You remain untouched. You are the eye of the storm. You hold the frequency of absolute certainty. The universe is a mirror, and it will faithfully reflect whatever identity you consistently assume. Never again will you blame a limiting belief for your situation. You know now that beliefs are just shadows. You are the light that casts the shadow. You have successfully exited the old game, and the new reality is completely yours to design. The canvas is blank. What will you create? The greatest revelation of your existence is this: you are not in reality. You are reality, observing itself into existence. Every limiting belief, every fear, and every boundary was just an old save point from a level you have now conquered. You are the infinite creator of your own experience, collapsing waves of pure potential with every breath you take. If this transmission resonated with your soul, thank you for being here. Please subscribe to the channel and leave a like to energetically align with this message. To permanently lock in your new timeline, go to the comments right now and write, I am the observer, creating my reality. And tell me, what incredible signs or synchronicities have you noticed in your life lately? The new game has officially begun,